Hate can have no safe harbor in America.
A harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us. The President and I will not be silent. We will not stand by.
Addressing the nation from Atlanta, the president and vice president offered words of solace and denounced racism. This in the wake of Tuesday's deadly shootings at 2 Atlanta area spas. Robert Aaron Long is accused of killing 8 people. 6 of the victims were Asian women. This morning, all of the victims have now been publicly identified. The 21-year-old suspect's motive remains under investigation, but some officials have called for hate crime charges. Newly unsealed arrest warrants show the alleged killer used a 9mm handgun in the shootings. He's facing 11 felony charges related to this shooting.
Amid the spike in violence against Asian Americans, last night hundreds of people in the Valley gathered together for a vigil. This is over at the state capitol in support of the community here in Phoenix. Organizers put this all together in just a couple of days when they learned about those appalling attacks in Atlanta. So joining us this morning is one of the organizers, Leezah Sun. Good morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we know that you gathered some folks together last night for a very powerful vigil. I know that a little girl even spoke, and I heard that she talked about how she had to switch schools because the kids were talking about the China virus, and they were hurtful and saying mean things to her. And that just broke my heart to learn. And I'm assuming that this is just one of many instances that you have heard of over the last year about discrimination against the Asian community here in the Valley.
That's correct. I think the visual really brought our community together, under, undesired circumstances. The little girl speaking out, it just gives you a picture of our community's, unreported and unaccounted incidents. Personally, these comments and slurs, we all have experienced, and they weren't a singular event. So the visual actually did bring more awareness for our community, but mostly it was a starting point for our healing process.
What has it been like to be an Asian American over the last year in the pandemic and to face attacks or be worried about stepping out in public sometimes just because of how you look? I've heard some people say, I'm glad that I can wear a mask because I'm able to kind of conceal my identity. And that's just so sad.
Exactly. I mean, just that notion that the mask during this pandemic will hide our identity, making us even more invisible. The fear factor that's in our community is unfounded. We need to really understand that this pandemic not only have uncovered so many other social issues, but in particularly AAPI community issues, and that's being marginalized.
So what can we do? How can we become allies for the Asian American community?
That is probably the most important question that we will be answering moving forward, is what we can do together. And first off, we need to continue the dialogue, the communication across cultural, issues and experiences. We understand as an AAPI community that we don't stand alone in these hatred and hate crimes. We understand that. Historically, we have shown up, but not in volume and frequency. So we would like to change that moving forward. And we want to reach out with other minority groups and ethnicities and organizations to collaborate in unity.
And it's not just, attacks, it's language. There's so many things where hate can be prevalent. And so we hope that by having the conversation, obviously, we see things turn. Thank you so much for chatting with us this morning. I'm assuming it's been a really heavy week for you, and I'm so sorry for what you and so many members of your community are feeling with and dealing with over the last week. And I wish you well, and I wish you hope.
And just quickly, this event was brought together with my closest friends, and I want to give a shout out to them. This is not a one person, one group, one organization. Many organizations came together. So thank you for this platform and your time.
And thank you for putting that together with your team of people, getting that vigil in order very soon.